This is Ivy Doom Kitty, and you're watching Geek Out SA.
And welcome back to Geek Out SA. We've done a lot of stuff, but top of the thing, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah, we have done a lot of stuff. I feel like it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since the last show.
We've accomplished so much in that time.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy.
Yeah, because we went to the event on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the movies, and we almost got to go to another event on Monday that then got canceled because it was a holiday. And
I like your T-shirt.
Thanks. It's a little Deadpool. Thanks to Walmart.
So here's what I decided to do today. I decided to do a spoiler-free review of Deadpool.
Yeah. So I already did mine on the blog. I put my spoiler-free review of Deadpool on the blog because this movie, it's not fair if you spoil it. It's not.
No. There's so much that goes on, and if you're a fan of Deadpool, a lot of the stuff is going to be familiar to you because of what happens in the comic. Not so much as it follows exactly what happens in the comic, but that it follows how Deadpool is.
Yeah, well, so I knew some of it because our sons read comics much more than we do. So I knew some of the backstory about, what his condition is and why he is the way he is. And I don't know how much of it, because I haven't really read the comic, so I don't know how much of what happens to him in the movie is truly what happens in the comic universe. But I don't even want to tell you that because I don't want to tell you, what happens to him to lead him to become, what he is or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to talk about it without talking about it. Yeah. So I don't want to ruin it, though, because a lot of, there's a lot more story development. There's a lot more, love story in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can say that safely without ruining it too much. There's a lot more love story in it than you would imagine just from seeing it. And, I mean, most of us that have any kind of tie to fandom or geekiness, we know who Deadpool is because every convention there's 50, 60 Deadpool, different Deadpool cosplays. And it's Deadpool cosplaying as something else, Deadpool the banana, whatever. So we've seen Deadpool and we've heard of it. So
Spurs Deadpool?
Yeah. It's not like he's unheard of. We've all heard of it. And we know that he has a level of sarcasm that is almost like a nuclear warhead.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting thing is that Deadpool is not for kids. Don't bring your kids to watch this unless they're adults.
Not unless you want to unless you would like to explain some very adult things to your child, some very adult sexual things to your child.
Mm-hmm.
And you might traumatize your child and make them never want to wear Crocs again. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, no, it's not for little kids.
It's not for little
appropriate.
kids.
And I'm surprised because I thought that because all of the comic book movies have been, so good where you could take your kids and you could see the superheroes and stuff, I thought that they were really going to play this down and kind of drown it. And they don't.
No.
They take it really far. It goes really, really far.
But it's really funny.
It's the things
it
that
really,
you
really
know
is
that
funny.
That these things are playing in some of our heads, and we want to say them. You want so badly to be able to say some of the stuff that he just says. And he just talks about the most, like, society we consider it very taboo or whatever to talk about. And he just goes for it. He's just like, goes for it. The other thing I really liked was we've seen all these previews and stuff, and we've complained about this before, especially I've complained about it. Like, I feel like if I've seen the preview, I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
That was not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen the whole scene on YouTube, and I'm sure everybody's seen it now, where he drops into the cars and that whole action scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
the test footage that they released.
The test footage. So it's in the movie. The test footage is in the movie, but it is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And it is super violent. That's the other thing. It is super, super violent.
Well, you know, they had written this and done this way back then, and there's a 30% chance that Ryan Reynolds said, well, he says there's a 70% chance that I didn't link it.
Really?
So, because it was taking them so long to get to that point, and in order to do that movie right, you had to do it at least rated R.
You had to. You had to. Like, to get the feel of what that
and that was
character
the
is
fight
and
that they had to take to get it made, because, an R-rated superhero movie isn't going to do well.
This particular superhero, yes.
For this one, I think Hollywood's going to look at that and say, so we can start putting out more junk like this.
They're talking about the next Wolverine movie being a hard
I saw
R.
that. I saw that they were talking about
doing
the next
that
Wolverine
and talking
being
about
much more
doing
intense.
X-Force.
Well, and I was surprised because I didn't know from the previews that there are some people within the comic universe who join in this Deadpool movie. So I actually enjoyed seeing those two characters as well, because I didn't even know they were going to be in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So to see them, and because one of my role-playing characters that I use in the organization, the one that I created, that's one of the NPCs in the organization, is like kind of a knockoff of that character. But I don't want to say anything yet. So we'll come back and revisit it, because I don't want to let people know. If
personality wise, and that's about all you can say about it.
Yeah. So
and there's more why, but not completely, but there's more why.
Yeah, I don't want to
because
say
if you say one thing, it's going, that's,
you'll know that's who it is.
You know who it is.
So I was surprised to see the other characters in the universe. I was also surprised that, like, you've seen that preview where he makes the joke about him looking like an avocado who had sex with an older, uglier avocado or whatever.
That joke was much longer.
That joke is much longer and even funnier in the actual movie. So you're like, what? That joke was funny to begin with, and now they went there? Holy Lord. Like, one thing I will say, one downside to it is the whole theater is so loud. Like, the whole theater is laughing and cheering. So a couple of times you miss some of the dialogue because people are losing their minds, right?
Yeah, you're going to have to go back and see it again.
Yeah. You want to. Like, immediately as soon as you leave, you want to turn back around and go back and see it again. Like, it's that kind of good. It was, please forgive me. Please do not send me hate mail. It was Star Wars good.
Episode 4 or episode 7?
Episode 7. Episode 7. No, it was not. No, it was not.
But it's a different thing, though. It's a different kind of movie, though. I don't know if I could compare it to Star Wars.
But I wanted to go see Star Wars again. Like, I wanted to give it another chance. I wanted to go get to know Poe and them again. Like, there's not a lot of movies that immediately you want to turn around and kind of go see again. So for this one, I immediately wanted to turn back around and go see it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't, and maybe this is because I'm not a comic book reader, I have yet to be disappointed in, there are very few, because I won't say any, there are very few of the superhero movies that I have been disappointed in.
Except
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
That was bad.
The latest one. Because I even like the originals
And let
better.
me say, even some of the older ones, I know people hate poor Ben Affleck, bless his little heart, but I didn't hate his Daredevil. Now, having seen the new Netflix Daredevil, to compare it to, there's no comparison. The show like kills that movie. But even when I saw that movie with Ben Affleck and stuff, I liked it. I didn't hate it. I just tend to generally like that superhero genre type of movie. And then I didn't like some of the like Superman, you know, when we started
talking
getting
about
into...
talking about
No, I like that one, like
Daredevil?
2 and 3 with
talking about Daredevil, they just released, and I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. They just released the new trailer for the new season.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen
And
that
it
either.
shows a lot of the Punisher, Frank Castle.
Yes.
Oh, who's playing him, do you know?
It's the
It's
guy
the
from...
guy who played Shane.
Shane from The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
Yep, Shane is
Shane
Punisher.
is the Punisher. Yeah, I could totally see that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Because I've already associated him with that kind of, he's on the
Psychotic.
fence. Well, yeah, he's kind of on the fence, right? Because Shane wanted to do right by Laurie and them, and
Shane was psychotic.
he was trying
over
to
the fence.
do right by Laurie than them, even though he had like this weird, obvious love for her before the zombie apocalypse, and he wanted to take Rick out of the picture. But he has, I thought at first Shane had this borderline, like, you know, kind of crazy, kind of wanting to do the right thing. I don't know. So yeah, oh, okay. So that makes sense. I like that. I think that's a good casting.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
So I can't wait to see that.
When is that coming? Soon.
Soon.
Yes.
Soon. When it comes out.
When it comes out, we'll watch it. I don't know.
Well, they've been
we'll
pushing a
binge
lot
it.
of the shows back.
Don't even get me started on that. That just drives me nuts. I don't know why it takes them forever, and we've got to wait and wait and wait and wait. And then I almost feel like I've forgotten what happens. There are some exceptions, like Walking Dead, because you've got that last scene in your head, right? And you, like for me, in the last season of Walking Dead, and the little boys, you know, mom, and you just know they're gonna get eaten, right? So that scene stuck with me until this season. But there are other things that they kind of end, and I'm like, oh, is that how, you know? It didn't stick with me very well. They didn't end it very well. So, it bothers me when they push it back when it's something like Walking Dead, and I have that in my head, and I want to know how it resolves.
Yeah.
But there are some cliffhangers where you're like, I'll wait. You know, you're like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I can't wait for Daredevil.
Yeah, I can't wait for Daredevil either. Daredevil was really great. And because we binged Daredevil, that was a problem too.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to learn our lesson and
Pace it.
pace it out and watch like one a day or something to stretch it. You're going to have to pace it for me, dude.
Well, Robert and I watched one a week.
One a week.
We watched it like a series.
I don't know if I can go back to that. I mean, I do that with stuff now.
Maybe 2 a day.
We did. There was a couple of times we did 2 episodes, but usually we stuck to 1.
But it just depends on when they release it, because when they release it, we're watching other shows, so
Yeah, so it
whenever
just kinda
we have the time to
depends.
do it.
Yeah, and we've gotten to where we really watch a bunch of shows, and then now that people know that we watch all these shows, they're like, "Hey, you should check out this show. Hey, you should check out this show." You know,
like, "We
so
don't
they're
have
like, "I'm like, I
time.
can't watch all these shows."
There's only so much we can record on the DVR all at once. But yeah, no, you were going to talk about toys. New toys.
Toys. I love toys. I'm a big giant child. I know people can't see it, but I have like a bookcase over here full of toys. I love these stupid little things. I don't know if some of it's the mystery of not knowing like what's inside the box, although that kind of infuriates me. But then I kind of like opening them up, but then I have like too many of the same ones.
You get like 50 Leonardo.
Yes, I have like too many of the same. I have a bunch of Michelangelo and no Donatello, of course, so that's my... I even have like my little puppets. My puppet. This is how I teach frog dissection at school. Oh no, and then you make a midline right there. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Then
So-
don't you have a frog hat too?
I do have a frog hat. So I really love toys. So I wanted to look and see what was going on at the New York Toy Fair. Also because I know a lot of people in the gaming industry who get to go there and kind of show off some of their new games and stuff. So it's kind of a toy/game fair at this point. One of the things I saw that was really cool is they have a thing maker. And I'm not sure who makes it. I don't remember. It's not in my head. But it's like a 3D printer for kids.
For kids.
Yeah. So how cool would that be? It's almost like when our kids were little, they had the little creepy crawler oven. And, you put the little
I still have
plastics in
mine.
there. Do you really?
I still have it.
Oh, my God. They loved it so much. They played with it to death. To death. We had so many creepy crawly rubber creatures all over this house. It was ridiculous.
Can you still get the rubber stuff?
I don't think you can anymore. I think that's one of the reasons we got rid of it. Or maybe you can get it, but only like get it online or something. So this would be a really great thing for kids. I personally think it's pricey. It's like $300. So if you're not,
And
kind
it's
of
about what I pay for the solid doodle too.
really.
Yeah.
This, from what I could tell, has like an easier interface for the kids, and it has more things uploaded to it so that they can print more things more readily. I'm not as familiar with the 3D printer as you are, but I know that you have been able to find stuff online to print on your 3D printer.
Thingiverse.com.
Thingiverse.com. So I just think that this is cool. They can create little figures and pieces to play with, and you lose a game piece or whatever.
Yeah. Well, a buddy of mine, I'm not just talking about the kid's toy, but a buddy of mine, Patrick, he just recently got a 3D printer, and he's been doing a lot of remaking parts for his motorcycle, like lenses and stuff like that.
Things that wouldn't have to be like necessarily where it's really hot or anything.
No, it
That
can
would
still be
melt?
hot.
Do they don't melt?
You have to get them pretty. I think the kids one isn't as hot because it uses a different filament that melts at lower temperatures.
Yeah, I think it's a different kind of plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And it's a smaller frame, so it's not going to take up like a big old 3D printer area in your home. So it's it's built for home use. It's like it's Mattel. So it's Mattel who made it. And it's a toy making 3D printer. I just wanted to look because then I couldn't remember who made it. But I don't know, I think it's cool. Our kids just had hours and hours of fun making those little things, and it's almost like Play-Doh to the next level.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. For me, I thought it was really cool. The other one that I thought was cool was the Mattel ViewMaster Viewer DLX. It's like a Google Cardboard device. It's like a VR device, but it's like an old school. It has like an old school ViewMaster / from the future look. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like when you're looking at it, it's a ViewMaster, but it's a ViewMaster from the future kind of thing. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. It runs about $40, and it like you can do the virtual reality with your phone. So I would really, really like to check that out. I may see if for show research, maybe somebody could buy me one. I'm batting my eyes.
Don't look at me.
No, I'm not looking at you. Your wife would smack me. I didn't see a whole lot. There was a whole lot of bustle about figures.
Yeah.
Because the figures have, so much more detail in the facial features now, because they're so posable in so many ways now, and they can articulate so much. I remember the other thing I saw, that there is a Tesla car for children.
Yes. It's a new Tesla model, but it's only for children.
Yeah, it's a Tesla S or something. Yeah, right? It's like $500, and it's for kids like 7 to 9 range. The top speed is 6 miles per hour. It is ridiculously adorable, and of course, it's got some yuppie kid in it in the ad or whatever, but it seems a little over the top. But if you have that kind of money and you want your kid to have that, like, it's kind of cool. So.
Well, if you got $60K to drop on a Tesla, you've got $500 to drop.
On a
toy
toy
Tesla.
car. Or maybe you just get the toy car and sit it in your driveway and just sigh a lot. You know, it's like,
I got a Tesla.
Tesla.
Actually, they have a new model that's coming out that's only $35,000
only $35,000.
for a full electric. That's cheap.
It's pretty cheap, yeah. But I don't know about getting the Tesla. The other thing I saw that I thought was cool, and I guess just for a nostalgia thing, and not for nostalgia for me, but for nostalgia for our children, they have these new things called Razor Jets. So remember when you were a kid and you could, like, you know, you get the metal skate and you could strap it to your shoe, right? So you didn't have to have full-on skates. You just strap the metal skate to your shoe and you could skate around the neighborhood. And then, you know, we did inline skates. And then remember they had the Heeley shoes that had the little wheel on the inside. So these are called Razor Jets. And you, like, attach them. It just attaches to the back of your shoe and it's like two little wheels and you can walk around normally. But then you can just, like, kick back, and they're like Heelys, but more advanced Heelys because it's the two wheels on either side. And then it has a little function where you can, like, hit it down and it causes sparks. So it looks like you're being jet propelled or whatever. So it was kind of cool. I thought those were cute. Just from having 3 sons, those are the kind of things that, you know, little boys really like that kind of stuff. But I could see them getting in trouble in the mall or something. But I thought, you know, some really cute stuff came out. To me, it seemed like a lot of the stuff, and I've never really researched Toy Fair before, but for me, a lot of the stuff was just like ramping up or rebranding of old stuff, like the old school Simon, you know, but now it's Air Simon, so you don't physically touch it. It has, like, you know, like a Wii controller type of motion sensor in it, so it's doing the little things and you're just outside of it, you know, or whatever. So, and then Monopoly ramped up. It's like the ultimate banker edition. Like, Monopoly's never going to die. They're just going to keep, like, coming out with a new edition every year. And even the Viewmaster that I liked and the Thing Maker, they're really revamps, you know, of older. They're just kind of bringing new technology into some of these older things, which I think is not necessarily a bad idea, because for me, being a child of the 80s, and I think a lot of the kids our age, grown-ups our age now, we just were really into toys. We played with toys. We were outside with our toys. We, you know, I lived and breathed with my toys. I had carried toys with me everywhere, all the time, to play something.
And there were very few of us that kept them as collectibles.
Yeah, we played with them. So to go back and get those toys that were ours and give them a facelift and modernize them so that we can share them with our kids, I think is a really smart idea. So I saw a lot of that and I thought that's a really good idea, just to kind of bring it back around so we can share it with our kids. And so I was impressed with Toy Fair. Maybe one of these days we'll actually physically get to go.
Yeah.
I think that should be on our list of things to do because it looked pretty neat.
Along with San Diego Comic-Con.
I don't know if I can handle the crowds of San Diego. It seems overwhelming. And it's another one of those...
We just need to go... It's something that you need to do one time.
Right? Just to go one time. Because you know how I feel about media cons, so don't get me started again.
Well, I think there's a lot more to do there.
It seems like there's a lot of standing in line there. It's just
there
like,
is, though.
Oh, I've got to go stand in line to get a ticket to stand in this other line so I could possibly get into this thing to hear this thing about something. I don't know. It's to me, it doesn't seem appealing. So, but I'd like to go just one time just to see what it's like.
You know what we did see what it was like? We did see what it was like at San Antonio Nerd Night.
We did.
At Geek's Cafe, so...
That was
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a really good event.
There was a lot more people than I expected to go.
There was a lot more people than the business owner expected to go.
Yeah, there was a lot more people than the business expected to go, so there wasn't enough tables.
It's very obvious that the Geeks Cafe is new, that this is something that they're not quite sure what they're doing yet. It doesn't seem like they had the facility really set up to be very geeky, per se. So that would be something that I would kind of ding them on. I mean, if you're going to have a geek cafe, I feel like you need to have some more geek stuff in it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, an old school Pac-Man machine or, some board, a board game library or, geeky movies on play, toys like we just talked about. Where's,
I didn't look at
Rock'em
the
Sock'em Robots or something.
menu. Did they have like geeky names
They
for the?
didn't. Not that I saw. It was just like you can get a Reuben, you can get a turkey sandwich. So I was kind of like I thought they could have really bumped it up a bit.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because that's something you and I have talked about before, is having a geek kind of cafe.
Yeah, we can't do that anymore.
No, we can't add anything else to our list.
No more.
No, but it is something that we've really thought about. So I think that if you're going to do something like that, you don't have to overkill it. But I think that if you're going to do something like that, you should kind of go a little further with it.
Decorate a little more to the genre.
Yeah, because I'm going to a geek cafe. I want to go and have
Geek out.
geeky stuff there. Yeah, he said it.
So, yeah,
But the
no.
turnout
But
was
the
great.
turnout was awesome. We played a lot of games, had a lot of fun, met some new people.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a new gaming store that's going to be opening here pretty soon.
And we'll have them on, and they're going to talk about what's going on with them. And then I finally got to play Dead of Winter. So it was... So at first I felt like this game is really long and convoluted because it took like an hour to explain it to us. But once you get going, it's not so bad. It's pretty good. So I enjoyed that. And you got to play a lot of Apt.
I did. And there may be something coming around the corner with Apt. Coming here pretty soon. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll show Al after the after
We'll show
the
the producer, but not y'all yet. We're not ready to show y'all yet. But we played a lot of games. We collected a lot of stuff for Sam Ministries. A lot.
We did.
So that was really great. And then we still have the artwork from Freddie. It didn't get the high enough bid. It didn't get the $100 bid. So we're just going to hold on to it. He gave it to us for future things. So there are going to be more events. I think she said the next one is going to be like for animal... For the... Sorry. I lost...
Animal Defense League?
Yeah, Animal Defense League or something. It's something like that. Some kind of animal thing.
So yeah, I mean it's great. I mean, like I said, I met a lot of new people that I've never met before, and being in the game industry, you usually run across everybody somehow, some way. But these are new people, and they're getting new people introduced to board gaming and card games and stuff like that. So yay, tabletop games.
Yeah.
To another thing, International Tabletop Day is April 30th, and then we have something planned for that too.
Thanks, Career Point. Yeah, it'll actually be great to get to be in one location this year. I'm guessing our producer will be at Dragon's Lair again like he normally is.
Yeah.
But last year, we were all over the place trying to go to every...
like what, 3 or 4 different events?
Yeah. So this year, we're just
not gonna do that.
No.
We're putting on our own event.
We're just gonna host our own event. Which is fine because one of the bigger stores in town, really only hosts magic events and doesn't really have the space to host the magic events on the weekend, plus do the International Tabletop Day, which is fine. And then one of the guys that we went to his event last year, he's no longer at the workspace that he was at before, so he wants to host his event with ours. So we're just kind of compiling some of the events that we went to last year, like into one central event for us. So we'll have more details as that comes about too.
Cool. Do we have all the mics on?
Why?
Oh, I'm just checking.
I think we do.
Are they all slid up?
The first 3 are. The last one's down.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Oh, I was like, why are we reverberating and stuff?
No, I forgot to check that, but I think
It's
we're
like
good.
you forgot to turn the stove off and you just remembered. It was like everybody looked at you like, what is he thinking about? It's so crazy. So what else have we done? I forget. Everything kind of blurs together for me.
Well, we saw Deadpool. We went to Nerd Night.
Mm-hmm.
We went. Well, we're gonna go to that other event, but we'll do that at another time. And do that, but we watched a lot of shows.
We do.
One thing I was disappointed is we didn't get to see Supergirl.
It wasn't on this week, right?
No,
Because
it
of the
wasn't on
Grammys.
this week. Yeah.
Yeah, because now I finally have kind of gotten a connection to it. I finally connected to it, so I've been okay to see it. And I feel like we didn't see Agent Carter this week either.
What's today?
Oh, is it today?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I feel like
It's 2
I haven't
hours.
seen some of these things.
2 hours.
Did they announce that they're canceling Agent Carter?
No, I didn't hear that. Did you hear that?
I heard something about it, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh no, I need to check on that because then I will not be happy.
No.
Why
yeah,
would
but
they do
networks really don't get geeky shows. Not,
I know.
Not as much as they really should.
Well, I'm gonna check out on it. Is the dog like trying to break down the barricade?
It seems
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, she is.
Bad dog. She's trying to get in here. Okay, I'm distracted, so you talk.
Okay, so we saw that X-Files. We saw Mulder trip out. Really trip out.
It was
On
pretty
placebo.
funny. All the dancing he was doing was so funny. And then he's all, But you know what? The rest of that episode was kind of like, and, okay. I don't care.
Well, they brought in
But-
2 new characters that kind of mirrored
I know.
Mulder and Scully, Miller and Einstein. So, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with that.
I feel like they're leading us into trying to
But this is
connect
only
to
like
these two characters.
6. This is only like 6 episodes. Are they going to start a new thing with these 2 new?
With these 2 new characters. I feel like that's where they're trying to lead us, but I'm not really sure about that.
But why would you do that and get rid of Mulder and Scully? I don't know that they have the dynamic that Dana Duchovny and Gillian Anderson have.
I don't know. Sorry, I have the yawns today. Forgive me. I think that they're trying to establish that, although. So like no, because I was gonna say the roles are reversed, but they're not. The guy is the believer, and the girl is the
She's a medical doctor.
medical doctor, and I don't believe any of this hooey, and yeah. So yeah, you're right, Al. There are speculations. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on Agent Carter because I got obsessed with that. There are speculations and rumors that Agent Carter may not be renewed for season 3 because the lead actress has signed on to be the lead actress in another show. So Haley Atwell has signed on to be in a show titled Conviction.
That's
they must
too
have
bad.
thrown some money at her to do that.
I guess so. That'll be a bummer.
Maybe they'll throw more money at her to keep her. Who knows? But it's not that long of a stint, though, that she does for Agent Carter, though. So maybe it would be okay.
Because it's really only like half a season.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what was it, Fear of the Walking Dead was only 6 episodes for the season.
Yeah. Thank God.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry.
Have you watched the little mini webisode thing that they did on the airplane?
Oh, no,
You need
Well,
to
we
watch
caught bits and pieces of it.
Just whatever they show, like, during
During
the series, during the show, during the time of the show, but...
So how are you feeling about Legends of Tomorrow?
Boring. I can't connect to any of them. Boring. Hate it. I'm like, move on. Be done. Get the show over with. Yeah, I don't like it.
They're trying to combine superheroes with Doctor Who.
I
I
guess.
don't know if it works.
I don't know. I don't really like it at all. It kind of loses me. So I'm just like, boo. Where's the Flash? Bring back the Flash.
But the Flash was good, and the Flash is happening
Right now, and
now.
I'm dying because Zoom has got them. Oh my god, the evil Cisco was the bomb.com. He was so evil. He was so evil. It was spectacular.
It was really cool.
Yes.
It was really cool.
It was so great. Doppelganger.
So on this episode, they're trying to get back the one that already happened, because it happens at 7. It's like
well, the one that's on tonight, while we're doing the show, while we're prepping for the show, Zoom has got Barry. So the Barry from Earth 2, they have to tell Iris from Earth 2. It's a whole lot of mess.
the Barry that has no power.
Yeah. That's like super nerd. Like, he's out there in his wingtips in the, forest. Because he's like, my shoes are not good for climbing. He's the typical scientist kind of guy, supposedly. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens. Zoom freaks me out. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, he is one of the creepiest bad guys I have seen in a really long time. Like, he gives me the chills. He freaks me out. Like, I do not like him.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of, where was it? Was it the second Dark Knight movie?
Heath Ledger.
It was the one with the Scarecrow.
The first one. That was
The first one. That was the first one.
Batman Begins.
When the Scarecrow gets hit with his own gas, and he's like looking at him, and Batman looked really creepy then.
Yes.
That gives me the same kind of...
Yeah, that same kind of vibe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like, I'm interested to see, like, who it is, who Zoom really is. But whoever the actor is, and I don't even know who it is, because I'm not a good show stalker. I'm not a very good geek fandom, because I don't stalk everything and know every little detail about it. But whoever the actor is who plays him, he just has a really good presence. Like, he fills up the screen, and he's very creepy, like, in his mannerisms and stuff. Like, when that character's around, you feel like somebody is gonna die. Like, they have to die, because he's not gonna take anything less. Like, I don't know, he really creeps me out, which is good. Like, you want it to be like that. You don't want to have the villain be so mamby-pamby that you're not afraid for the hero. But what's the point in that? Like, I mean, intuitively, we all know the hero's gonna live.
Barry's back.
Yeah. Like, the hero's gonna live. That's what he does, right? But you still need to be able to feel that fear that there might be something that could really happen to this hero. That could at the very least, scar them or change them or make them different. I think that was what I really liked about the last Supergirl episode, was I finally felt this scarred vulnerability to see her get to be back with her family and so happy.
And then get ripped from it.
And then to be ripped from that. And she's still kind of a young girl, So I felt that loss. And I think that was when I finally got that connection to her. I haven't connected to her as, being there in the office and being under Kat's thumb. It's like, okay, so your boss is a bitch. Like, who doesn't have a boss every once in a while who's a bitch? You know what I mean? You don't really feel this angst for her. But in this last episode, I really began to feel that. And then to know that her sister killed her aunt, who she truly loved at one time, who was important to her. I think that's another thing that just kind of, you're like, oh, this is not gonna go. Like, every time in these shows when these characters don't tell each other the truth, bad stuff goes down. Yes.
Always does.
Yeah, it always does. But in reality, like, for the most part, with humanity, I think that that's kind of how humans really are anyway. Like, you don't want to tell people when you've done something really bad, especially something that if you care about them, you know is really going to hurt them.
Yeah.
So I think that that's just human nature, not to tell people when you've done something that you know is really going to hurt them or make them upset with you. So I know people are always bitching like, oh, why do they have to use that as a plot mechanism? It's so cliche. It is cliche, but it's kind of true too. Like,
And everything's been done anyway. It's all been done.
Yeah, so you can't help but redo it.
Yeah.
Because, you just have to, if you're going to redo it well. Like, that's the only thing. Like, if you're going to do it really well.
And Arrow, I'm really enjoying Arrow.
Oh, yeah, I'm really enjoying Arrow, too. Oh, man, the final scene with, I don't even know, he's not Rachel Gould anymore. I guess he's back to Merlin or whatever, or what was his name?
Yeah.
Right?
Malcolm Merlin.
Yeah, Malcolm Merlin. And then he's talking to, what's his face? The one that's a real a-hole who keeps trying to kill them. God, I forgot his name. Dude, I'm forgetting everything today. I'm losing it. The blonde guy.
Yeah, the one from the Hive.
Yeah. When they're talking at the end and they team up, I was like, son of a... Really? These two together? Like, really? Are you kidding me? Like, it couldn't be any worse. Like, they're two really good bad guys. Like, especially that blonde-haired
really
guy. He's been
guys.
They're really good actors. They're good at playing bad guys is what I meant. That blonde guy, he's been in stuff before as a bad guy, and he's like...
He was in Desperate Housewives as a bad guy.
Yeah. He's like a really convincing bad guy. Play anything other than a bad guy, yeah. I can't remember what his name is, and it's driving me nuts. So, but I'm really liking that. I think that show is coming along nicely. I don't ignore it as much as I used to. I like the whole like Felicity's in the wheelchair thing that they've got going on. I think it's a good addition, to make her work with that and overcome it. So, I like it.
That one, we're also watching Lucifer.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Lucifer's great.
So I'm enjoying that one to just... Have you seen that, Al?
Damien Dark.
Damien Dark.
I saw a little bit of Lucifer. At least I think it was Lucifer. Kind of English guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, real
talking
smug.
Real inappropriately, and it was okay.
It's
but
not for
I was
kids.
working on something else, so it was like, I don't know what this is, and I can't pay attention to it, so I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
He's funny, and he's been thrown off his game, and he's starting to lose his power.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
It's just an interesting turn on the whole thing, because he's like, tired of being bad, but yet he's still kind of bad, So it's interesting. I like it. It has its ups and downs. What else did we see? I don't know.
Agent Carter.
I don't remember what happened in Agent Carter. I have like totally forgotten what happened in Agent Carter.
It was...
She's getting like that. One chick is getting like stronger with the dark matter, right?
Yeah.
And that's all I know. Oh, he was in Red too. The guy that plays Damien Dark, he was in Red too.
Yeah.
I knew there was something
That was
that was
bad
driving me nuts. Sorry.
Red too.
He was the bad guy. I was like, he was that bad guy.
Anthony Hopkins?
No. Jack Horton.
Oh.
He's the guy that, yeah.
The heavyset guy that was trying to...
The guy that, like, had Anthony Hopkins, and then Anthony Hopkins, like, tricks him at the...
Yeah.
And you think, oh.
Oh, yeah, he was good. I liked him.
Yeah, he's good. I love Red, and Red too. Okay, I'm sorry, derailed.
So, and they're trying to get the warheads or something like that.
Yes. Something like that. I don't know. Too blurry. That was one of the ones that I was like, I need to go back and watch it again because I've forgotten what happened. Because I was probably doing schoolwork or something. I was doing something else. So, let's see. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
I think we hit them all that we're watching right now.
We only didn't hit the one that it's hard to talk about because we don't really spoil it for people, because although they should have seen it by now because everybody's been talking about it, and if you haven't seen it by now, like, I feel like too bad, because it's like the best episode ever of Walking Dead.
So yeah, well, we kind of left off on the Walking Dead on the season-ending cliffhanger with they have ponchos on or whatever with zombie guts all over it.
Yeah, I think they were bed sheets. Yeah.
And they started to walk through the zombies while the little kid is with his mom, holding her hand, saying, "Mom, Mom, Mom."
Uh-huh.
And you know that kid's gonna die.
Well, yeah.
But
so,
I didn't expect what happened to happen.
No,
Not
I
the
didn't.
way it did.
Not the way
Not
it
the
did.
way it did.
Not the way it did. No, not at all.
It was like an unfortunate chain of events that happened.
Because I thought for sure.
And it's someone else's fault entirely.
And it's someone
And
else.
no
yeah.
one will ever know it's her fault because it was only in that child's head.
Yep.
I thought for sure, like, that was how we were going to start the episode, was them, like, being in trouble and having to fight their way out because of this stupid little kid, right? And, but, you're kind of mad at the kid because you're like, nut up, right? Nut up, and, like, you're in this,
He
like...
actually does, kind of.
He does. And then you're like, oh, the kid's going to nut up. Like, okay, right? And then... But then you forget that the reason that he's like that is because of Carol.
She just completely rat-screwed his
She
brain.
totally screwed him, which is why he was, like, living upstairs and wouldn't come downstairs in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. And you've kind of forgotten, like, because, Carol's such
And they play that in the background.
Yeah.
Her telling him that, and then that's when he freaks.
Just nothing
He sees like one of the most gruesome zombies, and that's when it hits him.
He
He remembers her telling him, like, they're going to eat you and all that stuff, and he just loses it. And who blames him? Like, you are a little bitty kid, and there's these things all over you that are much bigger. I wish his mother would have just been more forceful and would have said, Sam, you're going with the preacher, and you're going with Judith. Like, lie to him and say, you've got to help take care of Judith. Like, you got to be a big boy and take care of Judith. Like, that's what big boys do. Lie to him, do something, and send this kid to the church.
Yeah, no, okay.
Okay, honey,
Come
you
with
can
me.
come with us in the zombie horde. It's fine.
That you couldn't even come downstairs.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense.
So you feel...
I actually thought he was going to nut up, but I completely forgot about how badly Carol
I had
rat-screwed him.
too. I had forgotten, like, how much she got into his head. So then when they're playing that back for all of us, I'm like, oh, God, oh, God. Oh, God, oh, God.
This is not going to be
This
good.
is not going to end well. This is not going to end well.
But that's not
But
where
at first, when...
But before that, that's not where the episode started.
No.
The episode starts
With
with
Daryl and
Yeah.
Abraham and Sasha.
Okay.
The
that.
roadblock.
That was badass.
The-
That
roadblock.
was so badass because I am so tired of this group that is so strong getting captured and taken so many times, right? I'm like, you can fight all of these zombies and stuff. You have all of these survival skills at this point. Like, fight back, right?
Oh, Daryl
So
went
here's-
thermonuclear on these guys.
Well, but I didn't know that's coming, right? So here's Daryl and Abraham and Sasha, and they're like three of the toughest you can get, right? Mm-hmm. And at first I'm like, well, why didn't they just run them down with the truck? But then I remembered, oh, the truck's full of fuel, and if they had shot it, like, it could have blown up on all of them. Okay, so they don't run them down with the truck. But then you're standing there with all the guns, and you don't try to, like, take cover and shoot them. But I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, you weighed your odds or whatever. But I'm like...
And then Abraham, like, eggs him on because he keeps asking him questions.
Yeah. So I'm like, when is this going to end? Like, just go beat them up or do something, right? And then here comes Daryl with a rocket.
Daryl gets taken to the back to open up to see what's in the back of the truck.
Right, because they're like, we know you have more weapons hiding in here. You know, we've seen this before. We've, like, taken enough people down that we know you're hiding weapons. So take one guy to go with this guy, Daryl. Like, even if we hadn't been watching the show, you're telling me you meet Daryl and you think that you're going to send one guy in the back with some dude that looks like Daryl and that's going to make it taken care of? Okay, bad choice on your part.
They were probably used to dealing with people who would just roll over and let them have it.
Yeah, probably.
And you get sloppy.
Well, and I kind of thought Daryl and Abraham and Sasha were going to roll over and let him have it, and I was going to start cussing a lot because I was like, that is ridiculous.
Already.
I was like, this is ridiculous.
Really?
I am so sick of this mess. Blah, blah, blah. This is Daryl and Abraham and Sasha. Right.
Daryl's just going to get all medieval on him.
And then all the guys on the bikes blow up, and you're like, yeah!
Oh, gosh. Robert, our jaws just hit the floor.
Yeah, I lost it. I was like screaming, jumping up and down on the couch. Like, I totally lost it. It was fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic.
And these are Negan's guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Negan's going to be pissed.
But apparently, a lot of us missed off way off in the distance behind the motorcycles. There was a car hanging out back there.
Well, that may turn up next week.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's gonna, definitely. But there were so many, like, screaming at the top of my lungs, like, off the couch, like, jumping up and down, screaming moments.
Oh, there were some serious WTF moments.
So, when the little kid Sam gets eaten, at first I just thought, well, God, he's hallucinating, right? Right? Did y'all think that, or am I the only one?
At first, yes.
At first, I was like, well, obviously this is not happening, right? And then when it kept happening and it happens to the mom and stuff, I'm like, well, maybe it's just Rick. He's losing his mind again, right? Like, it's not like dawning on me that this is truly happening. It has this very surreal, dreamlike feel, right?
That.
I think they definitely played us on that. And I'm like, are they really getting eaten? Really? After all of this, they're getting eaten. And then Rick is chopping her hand off of Carl.
Arm off of a Carl.
And then,
because she wasn't letting go.
I know. Well, then the turd head son, who Carl should have let die in the first place, who Carl should have probably put down in the first place. Carl! But he's trying to, be human. So he saves this kid, and then the kid shoots him in the bloody eye. Practically point blank range.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, no,
he was trying to get
purpose.
Rick. He was trying to get Rick.
He was trying to get Rick.
Yeah, I know.
And then what's her
Sean,
name?
like, he does him through, man.
Michonne just shish kebabbed him.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, oh, damn.
I was like, what just happened? What just
No, they were just
happened?
way
I
too
didn't
many
expect
WTF
that.
moments in that scene.
In that scene
Just that
alone, you're like
one.
losing it. So then, of course, Rick picks up Carl, and you're like, oh, God, Carl shot, like...
Well, Carl turns to him and he's like, didn't he say, like, Dad? And then falls down and passes out.
Yeah. And so he picks him up, and he's taking him over to the infirmary. And meanwhile, thank God, Denise has managed to get away from the wolf guy, because the wolf guy decides for some reason to help her.
And he gets eaten.
And then gets eaten.
Well, to be
And then
honest, Carol was responsible for that.
And Carol's responsible for that, too. Because she shoots him.
Well, she thought she was doing a good thing.
Yeah, no, she totally did. You don't blame her for that.
Morgan, on the other hand, is a dick.
Morgan, you blame for the whole...
You blame Morgan.
That
whole thing
whole
is
thing.
his
The
fault.
whole thing. But he was kind of right. Like, in a way, he was kind of right, because the wolf guy does end up helping Denise, although we're not
but
sure
how much
what
harm did he do?
Right, we're not sure, what he has a seemingly creepy
Human moment.
Well, he has what seems to me like a creepy motivation, like he wants to take Denise to be his, concubine or something. I don't know. To me, he seemed a little too creepy. So then that all happens. So at least Denise is at the infirmary when Carl comes in, but I don't know how this kid manages to survive a gunshot to the eye.
Well, but if it went across this way and just destroyed the eye socket, that's one thing. It didn't go straight in.
Yeah.
If it had gone straight in, he'd just be a veg.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time I'm just like, what just happened? Then of course we get tied up in the whole thing with Glenn and Maggie.
Oh gosh.
So Glenn is trying to save Maggie, and she's up on this thing, and it's getting ready to teeter and come down. And so Glenn is out there, idiot Glenn, who you love, and you want to strangle him to death half of the time because he does stupid stuff to save other people, and he's there shooting the gun like, oh, chase me, chase me.
And they start crowding around him and
And
getting closer
you're like,
and closer.
"Glenn!"
And there's no trash can to crawl under.
And you're crying at this point. You're like, oh God, Glenn, please
And then
don't
you
show
see
a
this
close-up.
blood like coming out. You're like, oh crap! And then you hear the gunshots, and just like freaking
you're like,
Abraham
And he's all, open
and
the gate.
Daryl.
Abraham's like, open the gate, bro. And you're like, that's how you
I was
feel.
like, you did all of this, got out of from under that guy with all those zombies around you, and you died that way.
But
no.
it's his wife, you know, you love
Yeah.
your wife, so you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, that whole episode, it just slayed me. Like
You're emotionally exhausted.
yes, you're dying by the end of that episode. But it was great. It was
But dying in a good way.
Yeah, no, it was super great.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait.
But Morgan's got to be doing some kind of thinking because, you can't let everybody live.
Yeah, no, you can't. He's got to come to that realization. Oh, the other thing that I thought was great was everybody banding together to
Yes.
fight zombies. Even Eugene was out there, and the pastor was out there. The
Yes.
pastor was finally like, "This is what like God wants us to protect ourselves," and they are out there.
Yeah,
He was like, he's
Eugene
giving
nutted
us
up.
the-
That was awesome.
Yes, I was like, Eugene, yeah.
He said to the people he was in the
In the
church.
congregation, yeah.
He says, yeah, God has given us the courage to go out there and fight.
Yeah.
To
So
save
that
And I
ourselves.
was like,
to
what?
save the town.
When did that happen? Yeah, so that was all.
So the fathers had an epiphany, and Eugene is starting to nut up. And he actually showed some courage when he saved Tanya.
Yeah, a little bit. Yes, he did. But this time we were like, wow, is that really Eugene? Like, so I know a lot of people have complained before, like there's not a lot of action and there's a lot of
There's
like,
a lot of
character
acting
build up
stupid
and stuff and like doing, getting caught in stupid stuff. But I think this one episode made up for like everything
Yeah.
that it was like. I've always really enjoyed the show though. I always thought that the character development was important. You have to see their
but the thing
humanity
is,
and
it's like, oh, they get set up and then they have to leave and they're on the road and then they get set up somewhere else and they have to leave. They have to, because otherwise it's them farming and it's them doing. You have to have the
right.
danger.
You
of them
have to
on
have the
road.
danger, or you'd just be sitting there watching them go, oh. Well, they did
So-
some patrols and killed some
something's
zombies.
going to happen.
and-
Negan's going to show up, and they're going to go on the road again.
yeah, it's gonna have to.
Because it always comes back to, because the people that complain about it, it always comes back to The Walking Dead, not the zombies. The Walking Dead are them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They're the
people.
Walking Dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like it's gonna be a
If
really
the
good
second half of
season.
the season's like this, rock.
Yeah, spot on.
And apparently
Negan
Rick
is like
and-
really creepy, like a really bad guy, like governor style.
well,
like,
I think he's like worse because he ends up in the comic he ends up doing something to Carl.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he tortures Carl or something to that effect.
Yeah, I'm going to have to catch up on the comic. I'm way behind.
Yeah, I
But
haven't
this
read it,
is something I think what happens to Carl actually happens.
So. Oh, the whole eyeball thing.
Yeah.
Really. Interesting. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this season plays out. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. I'm interested to see the whole Zoom thing and if we ever get to find out who he is or what's going on with that, or if they keep kind of Earth 2 their parallel for us to go back and forth.
Well, this episode they're supposed to try to get out.
Yeah.
So
I'm
hopefully that's
interested in
successful.
what's going on in Arrow. I'd say boo to the Heroes of Tomorrow or whatever. I'm over
I'll
it.
watch it, but
I say if they lead X-Files into a new series with the 2 new characters, I'd watch them. I'd be curious to see how it would be with like a reboot.
I'd be curious, but I don't know.
Just so connected to Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
I mean, if they maintain the level of writing that they had with Chris Carter, then that would be cool.
Yeah. So, all in all,
No. A fun-filled week. So we saw Deadpool. We went to Nerd Night. We got to talk about some toys,
Yep.
which are really cool, and talked about all our geeky shows. But that's about it. I mean,
a lot.
it's a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And we're probably only gonna watch more stuff
And do more
stuff. So. Well, and in fact, we're actually planning this weekend for Game Expo.
Yes.
So that's another thing on our plate that we're going to accomplish. So
I mean, we have some more guests coming up. We're trying to do a lot more guests this year to show people more things that are going on in San Antonio. So the Beard Club is going to be on, and we're going to be going to learn some fighting with a fighting academy, and we're going to show that off and do some more gaming because we're
San
tabletop.
Antonio Greater Gaming Society, which I'm now a part of.
Yeah, so if you have a geeky event, or if you have a geeky group here in San Antonio,
Or if
we
you
haven't
really
talked to-
geek out about something cool, just let us know, and then maybe we'll have you on, and we'll talk about what you geek out about.
Yeah.
So, but thanks for checking us out again. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen.
Geek out, SA.